Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Londonderry View. It's hard to believe, but this is episode 64, and we're really happy and excited to be here. Happy New Year to everyone. And tonight we have actually two special guests, Bonnie and myself as your hosts, and we have Deb DeRosiers, who is our guest host tonight. And then also we have a very special guest that was willing to be here with us on top of everything else he has going on, our chief, Kim Bernard. And Chief Bernard, we're very excited and honored that you're here with us on The View. So
well,
thank you for being with us.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
So kind of explain a little to us how you started this journey
Sure.
in your life.
Sure. So this all started for me right out of high school. And my grandmother had said to me one day, what do you want to do when you get older? What's your path going to be? And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. So at the time, I was taking some night classes. I was working in a welding shop and trying to get a feel for that direction. My grandmother said to me one day that you should probably talk with your cousin. He's a policeman. He loves his job. And you should really find a job that is rewarding, where you have a pension and you need insurance. You need to have health care.
Aww.
So at that moment, right out of high school, I didn't really know what that all meant. But I went on a ride along with my cousin maybe a year or so after that conversation. And I found it to be very fascinating. And a ride along is where you sit in the passenger seat of a patrol car with an officer in whichever town or city. And you follow them on calls and car stops and things of that nature. And I found it to be very fascinating because it seemed as though, as the shift progressed throughout the night, there was always something different. And it wasn't just like sitting at a desk all day long. There was more to it. So I really drew an interest in it, and I started taking night classes for that. And back in the early 2000s, it was a really hard job to get because if an agency was hiring, there'd be one position open. You'd have up to 100, 150 people applying for one position. And that, unfortunately, now is not the case. So it was a very lengthy process going through this. I tested for approximately 5 to 7 agencies, if I remember, and I finally got hired by New Hampshire Marine Patrol as a part-time seasonal officer. I did that for about 1 season.
Marine on the water?
Yeah, I did that job for a little bit. That was a very fun job.
We deal that with a little bit,
good.
in the clerk's office because the boats, and so we hear a marine is.
So,
I did not know
and
that's
that was
where
a
started.
great way to get an intro into like law enforcement, if you would. And that was a seasonal job. So I ended up applying, and I got a full-time dispatching job. So I worked for the town of Bedford for about, I think maybe two and a half years-ish. Again, trying to navigate the law enforcement waters, no pun intended, with the boat then. But then I got hired by the town of Allenstown. And it was the first full-time opportunity that was given. So I went to the police academy. And a funny story at the police academy, I know maybe you've heard this before, maybe you haven't. But ironically, my police academy roommate was Chief Ryan Hart, former chief here at Londonderry.
That's the best story.
So that's how I met Chief Ryan, and to be quite honest, I couldn't have had a better roommate. And so going through the police academy, graduating the police academy, working for about roughly a year and a half in the town of Allenstown, it felt as though I needed more than that smaller town vibe. And I had checked with Bill, and I've shared this story a couple other times. And Bill and I had stayed in contact quite a bit. And I asked him if I could use his name as a reference, because everybody knew him. And I was going to apply for the city of Manchester and the town of Hooksett. And jokingly, Bill had said to me, nah, I'm not gonna give you a recommendation. You should apply to Londonderry. And at the time, I wasn't sure where Londonderry was. And it was probably the best suggestion that I have ever received, next to my grandmother's, of course. And I applied here. And the opportunity to be in front of Joe Ryan and the command staff back then, they were great men and phenomenal leaders, and they really inspired me at a young patrolman's age. Here I am, 25, 26 years old, into a town which to me was very big. And growing up in Goffstown my whole life, I knew that area. I knew how those men over there policed. And then I came here, and it was just it was really eye-opening to see the level of professionalism that this agency had, how Chief Joe Ryan treated the personnel, and it was very welcoming, if you would, being a new member of the police department, to see how they all treated each other every day here. And I knew at that moment that I found something special. And throughout my career, I always tried to, focus on, what the mission is and why you want to become a police officer, and treat people with dignity, respect, be kind, because you never know what type of day someone's having, right? So I always felt as though if you listen to people and you hear what they're saying to you, it's important. And this may sound, for me, it's like my everyday. If it's important for someone to share it with you, a problem, a complaint, a concern, as a policeman, you should be, happy that they're saying this to you. So if it's important to them to share it, you should be important enough to hear them and to value what they're asking you to fix or problem solve. And my whole career has been that way, even with the members of the PD that I work for, members of the town clerk's office, the town hall, the town council, and the community. I'm always trying to, get better every day and take criticism, and then obviously here I am. I never thought that I would be the chief of police of the town of Londonderry, and to say that it's a blessing, it's so true. Luck as well, timing, and I look at the past chiefs, and very remarkable to be even considered in a category of those men that held this this position. So I plan on doing that and then some. And as we have all talked about before, I plan on being very open with the community. I plan on going to events like we did at the Senior Center, where we did that sock hop one day. That was a great time. So I plan on doing these things and being out there, and I'm very, very fortunate to be here.
Well, we're fortunate to have you.
Really are.
So that's how I got to be here.
Yeah, which is great for the town.
It's great for me too.
Yeah,
it really is.
And then we've all served on the Senior Resource Committee together, so that's another bond that we all have. Bonnie being our liaison for the center, for the LLC, for the group that you from the Senior Center.
LSCI.
Yes, LSCI.
Yeah,
and representing the Senior Center for so many years.
Yeah, 50.
And yes. And then Deb was wonderful to take on the secretary role for the Senior Resource Committee, which was, which was very helpful. And Kim came on board even well before being our chief now, and really brought life and energy to our group.
He was instrumental to the expo that we had.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, very good.
I thought that was a group effort, and I'll keep on deflecting that. I think that it was a great group effort from everybody, and I think the partnerships that we all have on that committee, it's important because, again, there are people out there that count on these committees to be creative and do something good and give back, and I was happy to be a part of that. But it was a team effort.
It was a great effort.
Team effort.
Even Deb's husband got involved.
That was a great
Everyone. It really was. And that was just an idea that all of us in our meetings, we meet once a month. Actually, Deb and I, we have a meeting afterwards tonight. And but it was just all of a sudden, we're trying to bring new thoughts in, and just, you said, well, what about an expo? I've seen it in other places. Why don't we have one here? And then the wheels just started spinning, and I forget how many vendors
a lot happened
did we
in
have
about 34, 35.
Yes, for the first time, and on a Sunday, which was the day you were able to get. You arranged all that for us. You think Sunday, everything, and people came. I mean,
very good.
We learned our lesson, though. We can't do it during football.
No, not during football.
That was not a good thing.
Yeah, that wasn't good. That wasn't very popular. But I'll take that. That was my bad.
I don't think we thought of that one too.
No, we didn't.
When I served on the resource, and it wasn't, they didn't involve themselves as much as you guys involved yourself, really. It was a
Bonnie,
lot
years ago when you went, very true.
It was different, let's put it that way, no matter what you wanted to put through.
Very true, Bonnie,
we couldn't get anything really. That's why, well, I was already with LSCI at that time.
Yes, that's
being there, but It's a different group now, and it's
Oh.
really been helpful at the center, that group too.
To have that connection.
Yeah,
too.
to have that communication and
Boy.
somebody else, because they're volunteers like I'm a volunteer.
That's right.
That it's crazy, you know,
Yeah.
and it's nice to be able to say, well, gee, you think you might be able to try this? You know,
And to have
it's a whole
everyone,
different
yeah.
ball game with your group.
Yeah, nice.
It really
A
is.
good collection of people in that one.
Yeah,
It
it
worked
out
really
well.
is.
It
It
worked
worked
out
out good.
Yeah, and,
I'll have to
and
come by and visit.
Yeah,
Yes.
I went to one of their meetings, and I was surprised. It was
because we know just as you said, it's evolved,
Yeah.
and we were really kind of going down, and then I mean Deb stepped up to the plate too
Yeah.
as a new person, which was brought a lot of new
Then we
energy.
had a couple more. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and some other
It
people.
really, yeah.
Yeah, because we remember the past on it. But
yeah, because we
yeah.
were on it way back then.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, but yeah, that and the expo now, thanks to you and everyone involved, will continue, and we're already excited and talking about what's who's going to be invited for the next one, and more people. So it's quite an accomplishment.
And I gave Erin, when we come in, a flyer, because at the center we're doing coffee.
We are. We
Oh,
are.
tell
I
us
think
about
it's
that a little
and
bit.
the 26th, right?
Yes. It's either the 26th or 27th.
Let's do it both days.
Yeah. And
any chance
we did
I
that
can do.
before, and that was really good, because I taught a class there at one time, and they even participated in the class at the time. It was good.
Oh.
So it's from 11 to 1, but she's going to put the flyer up
Perfect,
on
okay.
our board.
Yeah, that's
And
coming
that's
up next.
coffee with a coffee.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a
Oh, okay.
national program designed to get the community front and center with police, and to be able to just strike up conversation, kind of like we're doing here, and allow people the opportunity to ask questions and get to know the officers in their community. And Ilona reached out from the senior center and asked if we'd be interested in hosting one with them up there. And so, of course, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Coffee and donuts, I'm in.
Yeah.
So we're going to go there and have some good conversations. So thank you for bringing that up. We should have talked about that. It's a great community event coming up.
That really is.
Actually, while we're talking about great community things and the town clerk's office and Coffee with a Cop, we've seen a lot of momentum and inquiries with those 2 German Shepherd dogs that we have had on social media.
Maybe Erin can put a picture
So
up even.
yeah, I figure while we're here, why not
I
talk
love
to you
that.
and
Thank
share
you.
with the viewers at home that we gained a lot of heartfelt inquiries on those beautiful pups. We're very fortunate that our animal control officer has taken great care of them.
Dave Carver,
Yeah.
great
He's taking
man.
great care of them,
Yep.
and they're being checked out by the vet. Tomorrow, I believe, is the last day of their police custody. And unfortunately, the owners have not come forward, which is kind of sad. So, I mean, a lot of reasons why this could be. But we're going to turn into a positive thing, and we have some people that have put in a request to adopt. So,
great.
Animal
Great.
Control Officer
Oh,
Dave
yay.
Carver is going to go through that process. They're going to be vetted. They're going to go to great homes. So the
That's
dogs will be well cared
It's a
for,
good
and
story.
it is good. I mean, this happens on occasion,
Yeah.
but we're very lucky that we have an animal control officer in our community who cares about dogs, and you
Truly
too. And
cares,
so
truly
make sure you
cares.
register your dogs
That's
come
right.
April.
April
Yeah.
is our dog registration
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Come in and register so that we
Register
can
the
keep your
dogs.
dogs safe and keep everyone in the community safe
right.
too. $7.50, $3 for our seniors, and
Yeah.
Deb and all the crew is there to just make it a quick process for you, and then May is your kind of grace period month too. Yeah, thank you. That's
And
good.
if not, we'll go get them.
That's right, if we have to.
Yeah.
But no, it's excellent. So
That's
that's
good.
a good story, because we've all been wondering about the German
Yeah.
Shepherds. And you
Yeah,
can
2
hear them
beautiful
out
pups,
there,
yeah.
and that's a nice
That
story.
It is good.
is a good
Yeah,
thing.
that
good.
is a great story with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of your goals now? Big question
Wow.
for only, how many months has it been?
It feels like it's been years. So I was appointed by the town council and the town manager back in October.
October, that's right.
So I had been overseeing the department since Chief Hart's retirement back in August.
Right.
So as you can imagine, with any job of the learning curve, and So I've been very busy with just navigating those waters, reaching out to community members. People have been contacting me with questions and concerns, and just good citizen phone calls that are coming in. So I think for the first part of my window was I wanted to sit back. I want to observe the community needs, the internal needs, look at the structure of the organization. We were down a lot of employees, so trying to balance the recruitment and getting, as we always talk about, quality Londonderry type officers to join our force. And that's very challenging because our standards are so high. And they're so high because we value the employees that we bring to you folks as citizens. And we like to say that we lead the way, as John Farrell has quite mentioned many times. Londonderry leads the way in many things. And I think it's important that we keep that in the back of our mind when we hire the best people to represent this community. So we're constantly striving to do that. We were down as much as 10 officers in the last 6 months. And it's, due to promotions and retirements. We have a lot of retirees, and retirees meaning they meet the minimum qualifications. They met the age requirement and the years of service. And that speaks volumes for how we do things here in the town of Londonderry. So when members of the police department are doing 20, 25, 30, 32 years, that says a lot about the organization and the town they're serving in. So we've had some catching up to do. We've done that. Right now we're currently at 60. And we have another one that we're in the process of doing a background for, so we'll be up to 61. As you ladies know, we increased some of our patrol into the schools this year. That was a big request from a lot of the citizens. And again, when citizens have these concerns, we got to listen to them. And I think it's important that you go to these school board meetings and you hear what the parents are saying too. And that was a big concern. And so we worked with the school board to come up with a way to accommodate everybody's needs, and it was a tough year last year for people.
Yeah.
So I think we're able to do that. And then internally, we've done some remodeling, if you would, done some painting. We've been in that building for close to 18 and a half years, and it's time that we do a little painting. So we've been doing some projects like that. What else have we been doing over there? We've been doing a lot of things over there.
Really
we've hosted some trainings in our community room. We've done that. We've participated recently in that year CALIA project.
Yes.
So we've been awarded our first year of CALIA.
Which is very difficult. Not
It's
many
very
communities.
difficult.
Tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
that,
so
Kim, because
in the short
it's quite an
response to what
honor.
it is they consider it the gold standard in law enforcement, the highest level of professionalism, meaning that your policies, your procedures are of the best in the nation, and that you apply that high level every day. And you don't just say it, but you back it up and you do it based on your policies. And they're best practices. And there's not a lot of agencies. There's probably, I think, 11 in the state of New Hampshire that have that recognition.
Wow.
Because it is very hard to obtain and it's hard to maintain. And we've been told that your first year is the hardest one to get that under your belt. And we did it with ease. And that's because of the men and women of the agency. And it's not anything that I did. It's a team effort. And it was, pretty much driven by Captain Mark Morrison, who oversees our Professional Standards Bureau in legal. And he's the man behind the curtain, who is the one at the desk all day long, researching the policies and getting us better. And it's a lot. If you think about all the men and women in the agency, when we change a policy and a best practice, and getting everybody on the same page of what that means. So it's a year-round, 24 hours a day. It's a big deal.
That's a lot of work.
So yeah, we're very proud of that, and the town should be too. And it's a recognition that the members of the command staff hold very near and dear, because it's a good status thing.
And you have to maintain it too.
You do.
You
do.
Which is incredible.
It's a lot of work.
Congratulations.
is.
Yeah, thank
Really
you.
good.
Isn't
Yeah.
that something?
Yeah, and then what else we got? K9 Zeus, Officer Matt Morin. He's one of our we have 2 K9 handlers. K9 Zeus is going, I think, next week to a 12-week training. So he's going to be going down there, getting some certifications. So Some of the dogs do search and rescue. Some of them are for drugs. Some of them also for article searches. And Canine Zeus is going to go down for explosives. So, having a partnership with the airport, we figure we'll utilize 2 dogs and give us, more areas of coverage than just one specific spot. So we get that going on. And we've got, right now, I think, three officers in training that
I
we've
didn't
recruited
realize
from
that.
another agency or other agencies. So we have 3 on the road right now learning the Londonderry way, which is great. And we have another young man who's at the academy right now. He's probably wishing he was home, but he's in week 2 of the police academy, so he's got a long ways to go. But a lot of happenings over there.
My grandson trained, went to the training class with one of your canine officers.
Oh, the one, the Boston.
Roberto.
Okay, the Boston, Ribeiro.
Yes.
Yes, the Boston Canine Academy.
Yep, they
Yeah,
both
yeah.
graduated out of that class together for canines.
Isn't
Yeah, it's a very
that
hard school for both
Yeah.
the dog and the handler. There's
Yeah.
a lot that goes into it, and while it does appear to be really good, you just drive around with a dog that's barking all the time on your back. But those men put in a lot of hours
They
with that
love-
dog.
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they do.
My-
It's a
he
phenomenal.
loves
It's a
it.
phenomenal
That-
asset.
He does.
My goodness.
He lives in Derry, but he's out of Essex County.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
But he loves having the dog.
My
But
That's
he's-
good. It's a good thing for the community too. And
Yeah.
we've got that, and then other dog news.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it. Did you guys see 2 weeks ago? We helped that family who was missing, who had I believe it was a beagle, got lost. It was a puppy.
Yeah.
And I believe that one of the children were watching the dog, and the dog bolted, and they couldn't find the dog. So another great story is we have a drone unit, which members of the community may or may not know. So the drone unit, as we know what it is, right? A drone goes up and it can take photos and all this. We have a very sophisticated one here in the town of Londonderry, and after searching the area and people were looking for this thing, we decided try the drone. And so Sergeant Ryan Bucher utilized his training and experience with the drone, and a couple people went down. They put the drone up, and they were able to find this puppy out in the woods.
They found it with the drone?
They found the dog
Oh
with
my
the drone
gosh.
because of the you're going to catch me now off guard here. But it was able to zoom in and see, and the dog was wrapped around a tree, a small tree, so the dog couldn't get away. And it was cold, and so the dog survived for like a night and a half or 2 days out there. So,
Oh, what a beautiful story.
but it is. This goes back to when we talk about how these things are very helpful for the community. We look at something like the canine positions that the 2 officers have, the drone program that we utilize, and again something like that. It's not as easy as you think. That these men go to 2 weeks worth of training to get these things up and learn how to do them appropriately. And another great story
That
to
is.
share.
That's not beautiful.
Yeah, it worked
And
out
it was
well.
a puppy.
Yes, I believe it was a beagle.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's a beautiful story. And with the drone and with the
Yeah.
new technology
Yeah.
that we have
Absolutely.
to have, the safety equipment, the technology,
Yeah.
so that we can master so many
Absolutely.
things. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's
It
a
worked out
good
well.
one. That's a great one.
That is a
But,
good one.
Yeah, my gosh. And,
Those are nice, positive stories.
they are.
Instead
and,
of-
We try, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bonnie, it's a very
Yeah.
good point. It's true.
Yeah.
There's so many other things.
Sure.
But
Yeah, so many other things.
Yeah,
that go
all
on,
the
But it's
good
so
things.
positive.
Yeah, and then also the police department is very involved in our upcoming elections. All
Yes,
the
yeah.
elections, you're behind the scenes, in front, planning part of everything that's involved
Sure.
in all of our elections.
They put a lot of work into that, and one of the biggest concerns that we get from the community is the traffic pattern. And man, there is no easy way to please everyone with that one.
I know.
While traffic is important, we take things seriously on a security front, because not to alarm people, but anytime you have a large gathering in today's society, we have to plan for those what ifs. So the men on that team who oversee the security aspects, they put hours, weeks worth of work
they
into
do.
this, and they don't stop. And they brief before, they do debriefs after.
Yeah.
A lot of work goes into it. Most people just think that they see a few officers standing outside
Right.
and
That's
saying
it,
hello,
yeah.
but
Right.
it's very in depth.
Yeah, or that they're
So-
just standing there, and they're never just standing
No.
there.
No.
They are
No.
taking in every detail
Yeah,
of
the
everything.
It could be
Yeah.
cold out there come March.
Yeah.
And,
Oh my goodness.
The men and women, they do it, and
Never
they
falter.
they smile and stand there, and
Yeah.
they serve.
Yeah, they really
do
are
a
more
great job.
grateful. We couldn't do it without them, you know.
Right.
So thank you, and our fire department, our alert, and you know the team. So no, it's
Team effort for sure.
yeah, but no. And just a little shout out too. Our town election is coming up right around the corner on March 14th, Tuesday. Polls open at 6 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m. And we really want everyone possible. Please speak with your feet, come out and vote. It's so important. This is our town, but it's this election where all of the things that affect all of us are determined. So please, if you can't make the election for so many different reasons, your health, travel, absentee ballots are always available. And the town hall, our clerk's office is there to help. So it's a great time to start thinking about it. Another important date starting next Wednesday. Anyone know what that is? Next Wednesday?
Next
Sign
Wednesday.
up.
Deb, you got, yes,
Sign up.
yes.
What do we
yeah,
got?
yeah, absolutely, yeah. So we have our sign-ups for our town elected positions, and it's a 10-day period. So you know, Deb and all of us in the town clerk's office, we've been talking about that and preparing for it. So that's when anyone that's been thinking about it is volunteering to run for one of our town positions. You come in. It starts on that date next Wednesday, January 25th, until February 3rd, and you sign up in the clerk's office. And there's different brief forms that you have to fill out. We look at your ID. Most importantly, we make sure that you're a registered voter in the town. And then during that 10-day period, people that have an interest can sign up. But on that Friday at 5 o'clock, that's the cutoff. And the positions are posted. There's quite a few this time. So trustees of the trust fund, the cemetery, council. So check out our website. It's also posted in the library and in the town hall throughout. But it's just such an important time to get involved. It's kind of like when you were saying about elections. There's so much involved behind the scenes, and it's a wonderful way to get involved in the community and find out how everything works and have a voice too.
And another thing on that too is if anybody's interested coming on the show.
Oh yes, thank you. Yes.
Before the election,
Right.
we allow them to have like a 10-minute spiel
Yes.
of what they want to
Oh.
say,
Yes.
but
Their
they,
pitch, I like it.
they keep it.
Completely nonpartisan. In our town elections, it's wonderful because we are nonpartisan. There's no room for any political parties. It's what's best for the community, and the best people that's who you want to look at. The people who are going to
Right.
represent our community the best, and their heart's in it for all, and everyone who runs. I really believe that's why they're there.
Yeah, and we've
Yeah.
done that for years, having them on the show.
Yeah, and it's a
So-
nice,
so-
safe
so
place.
they can get in touch
Yeah.
with Sherry if they're interested in getting on the show.
Right, absolute, Bonnie, good point.
Yeah,
and
this
it's all
way we won't have
positive.
yeah, this way everybody knows
That's
they're
a good
invited.
point. Everyone is invited, and we
Yeah.
do our best to accommodate.
Yes.
And those, and it's all positive. There's no trick questions. It's
No,
really just
they just tell why they're
tell
running.
kind of like what Kim, what
Hey,
we're doing
I
tonight.
thank you for inviting me, and I thought I'd get a trick question or two.
No.
But no, this was wonderful, and thank you for hosting this, and thank you for stepping in and
Wasn't that great,
allowing
Deb?
me to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And 22 years of service, just about,
Yeah.
to our community. So our
That's a
hat goes
big-
off to you. We're
yes.
so
We'll
fortunate
do many
to have
more.
you. Yeah, more. And but yeah, anything else? Do we have anything else for tonight?
I don't think so.
We're glad to be back. The shows will be coming up for the candidates, and if you have suggestions for us, we'd love to have ideas. We have some great different off-site ones coming up too. So keep an eye open for them, and thank you. And again, most importantly, thank you,
Thank
Chief
you. And
Bernard,
thank you for
and thank you,
filling in
Deb.
for
1
us
hour's
tonight.
notice, and she's here with us. So that's the Londonderry way too. You jump in, you help where it's needed. So thank you. Good night, and we'll see you soon.